to be with you. My name is Chris Momini. I'm the CEO of Westchester University's Foundation, and I want to thank you all for being here today on this great morning. I was in charge of the weather today, nothing else but the weather. So thank you for coming together this morning as we celebrate the new entrance to Westchester University, the Roger and Agnes Ware Plaza. We are so honored, of course, today to have with us Roger and Agnes Ware, as well as their family and friends to help us celebrate. So welcome home, Roger, Agnes. Also joining us from Westchester University are members of the cabinet, our president, Dr. Chris Fiorentino and his wife, Sue, Dr. Lorraine Bernatsky, Lori, our executive vice president and provost, Dr. Jeff Osgood, deputy provost and vice president for academic operations, Dr. Zeb Davenport, Vice President for Student Affairs is here. Dr. John Villela, Vice President for University Affairs and Chief of Staff and Unity Affairs. You keep everybody unified. I think I saw, is Tracy here? Did I see Tracy? You know, she's on the list. Dr. Tracy Ray Robinson, Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer. And a special thank you to Todd Murphy, our Vice President for Administration and Finance, who spent all the sleepless nights making sure, I know we're going to shout out Gary later. Chris is going to do that, but Todd has really been a great partner with us at the foundation, keeping us posted every step of the way and being out here. So Todd, thank you. So this comprehensive plaza project started back in 2018, and it began with Roger's vision and his desire to create for his alma mater an iconic and transformative feature for campus. And so from the project's inception, a great deal of thought and quite challenging work contributed to the grand design that we're celebrating today. It may have been a long road to get here to this point, but I think you'll agree it was well worth the journey. Often when I talk about the foundation, I like to explain that we're the philanthropic arm of the university, and we work to match donor passion with university mission. And today, even as I look around this plaza, it's so wonderful that I can now see and feel, and in a moment we'll all see, Roger's passion to create an iconic space. And I can sense that this dramatic change already in our infrastructure here at the university will initiate a new beginning for our campus. So Roger, thank you. Agnes, thank you for your generosity and for sharing your vision with us. And so now it's my great pleasure to introduce the president of Westchester University, Dr. Chris Fiorentino. Chris.
Well, Roger and Agnes, welcome to Westchester University. Where are they? They're right here. And to this incredible new gateway that you have created for our campus and for the Westchester community, because not only does this announce the arrival on the campus, it announces the arrival to the borough. And a number of people have pointed that out to me as they started to see this thing take shape. So here we are at the bustling corner of High and Rosedale, celebrating the completion of this signature gateway. And we are very grateful to you for your generous support and in having the vision for this complete transformation of the campus. And thank you for conceptualizing this. I do really have to say that when Roger originally had this idea, this is where he wanted the fountain to be. And the administration was kind of thinking that it might be better somewhere else on the campus. And frankly, I have to state publicly, Roger, you were right. This is absolutely where this had to be, and it's just perfect. This site marks a new beginning for our campus. Last week, we began the celebration of our 150th anniversary, our sesquicentennial year. It's been a wonderful look back at the history of the university, and this reflects the new beginning moving forward. I'd like to share my thanks to the WCU Facilities Department and to Gary Bixby. Where did Gary go? They hung in there on this. You know, this was an incredible project. And you know, we were trying to get this thing finished, and we had a COVID outbreak, and we had a monsoon, and we had a hurricane, and you know, everything. Obviously, 6 inches of water about 3 weeks before the completion of a project was not helpful. But they kept slugging, and here we are today, so we're so delighted. So I have some interesting details about the fountain itself, the technical details. The focal point of this beautiful plaza is the fountain. Our fountain is composed of 2 concentric spray rings, 22 feet and 15 feet in diameter. With arching multi-stream jets, adding the appearance of volume to the spray. The inner circle ring at the center of the feature has 4 vertical multi-stream jets with underwater lighting fixtures. So this is going to be amazing, and at night it's going to be just incredible. Each ring features 20 jets, all installed flush with the pavement. Each of the jets will arch up to 5 feet high and will surge to 6 feet into the air. At night, our fountain will be lit through 21 LED light fixtures, adding a touch of drama to the plaza. The fountain will be operational for all to enjoy, except on days where the temperature drops below 40 degrees. We had visions of the skateboarders trying to be out here on the ice, trying to see if they could survive, and that didn't seem like a good idea. On windy days, we have an anemometer, which is a technical term for a wind measurer. It's going to be on the plaza detecting high winds, and it will automatically shut it down to half the height so that the people walking by aren't getting soaked by the fountain. The fountain's plumbing, electrical systems, and automated controls are housed in the basis of the Francis Harvey Green Library. And the fountain boasts incredible sustainability features. It recycles its own water, and it captures rainwater and utilizes rainwater in the fountain. So it's a sustainable fountain. And as the water is captured, it's sent into a sterilizing process, so the water is sterilized by ultraviolet light. Our new university sign welcomes everyone to campus. And if you notice the seal on there, that's the seal that was on the old sign in the front. So we preserved that seal. So people who were worried about not having a place to take pictures, we have a fabulous place over here to take pictures. So we've captured that nod to our past. And the low stone wall behind the fountain, naming the plaza for Roger and Agnes, is softened by the trees behind and offers a warm welcome to all. The Roger and Agnes Ware Plaza will soon host students taking selfies, capturing their first visit to campus. Parents will meet their students here on family weekend to begin their campus exploration. You know, I grew up in this area, and I remember talking about in economics something called a focal point. And for those of you who are from Philadelphia, there's a famous focal point in Philadelphia, which is the Wanamaker Eagle. Meet you at the Eagle. Well, here is our focal point on this campus. I'll meet you at the plaza, the Ware Plaza. So students, alumni, all have access to this now. This is going to be a wonderful place to sit and just enjoy a beautiful day like this. When we're recruiting students, I tell the recruits every day at Westchester is just like this. It's perfect. Right, everybody? For those who may not know, Roger graduated from Westchester University with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 1982. So he left the year before I got here. So we spent a long time together. Today, he serves as president of GenCap Insurance Services. We are so grateful to the Ware family's generous support through the years, support extending upon multiple projects on this campus. Now, I'd like to ask Roger to come up to the podium and make his remarks.
Good morning, everybody. What a gorgeous day to be here. Are those students in the back? You guys are actually up on a Saturday morning? I'm impressed. I'm impressed. First of all, very warm welcome to all of our family and friends that are here today. We're so grateful that you're here. To the Westchester administration, President and Sue Ferrantino, Chris and Stephanie Momini that are here today. Any current students, which I didn't think you'd be here. I threw that in just because I said, man, maybe a student walking by. I didn't know I'd have a whole host of them. And any alumni that are here. And I actually have family members that are alumni of this university. Thank you for taking time out of your busy Saturday to be with us here today. Agnes and I are humbled and grateful to be part of such a special university. And also a big happy birthday to Westchester as we celebrate Westchester's sesquicentennial, 150 years. That's just such an amazing accomplishment. And we hope that Westchester has many, many more successful years. I'd also like to welcome my children and their spouses, thank you for making the trip. And a very special welcome to my two grandsons that are here today, my beautiful grandsons, Kirkland and Cooper. Can we hold them up? Are they here somewhere? There's Cooper. Kirkland may be walking around. You know, this isn't on the script, but I thought yesterday was kind of ironic how things have changed. Kirkland was upgraded yesterday from Atlanta to first class, and Cooper has a passport and a Delta Sky Miles card. Now, the thing about it is Cooper's going to be 7 months and Kirkland's only 17 months. They're beating the system already. I didn't fly first class till I was 30. They have it really good, but they are definitely the light of Agnes and my eyes. It's truly wonderful to be a grandparent. Today's the day that I've been dreaming about for 5 years, and I fully admit there were times that I did not think this project would either begin or end. Between COVID, the university being shut down, all sorts of permitting issues that came about. But actually, when I stop and think about it, it really worked out in our favor, because now we get to celebrate this beautiful plaza on Westchester's sesquicentennial celebration. I think that's very special, and I'm so happy that it actually happened this year. Now, the first person I need to thank is my wife, Agnes. We were just married 39 years last Saturday. She has always been my biggest supporter. This dream about this project really began on a sleepless, rainy night in Georgia. Kind of sounds like the beginning of a country song, doesn't it? When I woke the next morning, after you've been married as long as we have, she kind of gets the feeling, she knows when something's on my mind. And she was sitting there sipping her coffee, and she looked at me and she said, "What's going on? I can tell something's running through your mind." I said, "Yeah, I didn't sleep too well last night, but I came up with an idea." She gets scared when that happens. And she said, "Okay, what's the idea?" And I said, "Well, I'd really like to do some type of fountain project to improve the entrance at Westchester." She never hesitated. She looked straight at me and said, "If that's what you want, then you go ahead and make it happen." So thank you, dear, for all your love and support. It's meant the world. Now, I've also been married 39 years because I'm smart enough to understand, had she said no, we wouldn't be standing here today. But she has never, ever said no to anything as regards to our support for this university, and she never will. She loves Westchester as much as I do. Now, this idea of a fountain project really began after visiting my 4 children's beautiful campuses. They all went to beautiful schools, and they all had beautiful water features. Westchester had no such feature. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit jealous. And actually, President Florentino and I were actually at a meeting over at the Alumni Center. We were having this discussion about the 10-year landscape plan for Westchester. There's actually a 10-year landscape plan for Westchester, and they had a big book out, and I saw it. And we were also discussing that there's a study that is out that most kids know within the first 5 minutes of stepping onto a campus if that's where they want to spend the next 4 years. Now, I know that happened with 3 of my 4 children, not the one who played lacrosse and drove me crazy with where she was going to go to school. But my other 3 children knew exactly the minute they stepped on campus. So as we were talking about that, we said, wouldn't it be great if we could transform the university's front entrance to give it a special appeal? And we thought that would be a great idea. And it certainly exceeded our expectations. Now, Agnes and I hope that this plaza and fountain will be enjoyed by faculty, administration, students, alumni for many years and decades to come. We wanted it to be a space that a prospective student saw the first time they came up High Street. We wanted it to be a place where pictures could be taken. When mom and dad drop off their son and daughter their first year of college, they could take a picture and then follow up 4, sometimes 5 years afterwards and take a picture with their graduation cap. We also wanted it to be a place where you could just sit and relax and do what I had to do sometimes, which was cram for an exam, sitting on a bench that will actually, once this is all done, there will be benches surrounding this area that will be beautiful. So we wanted it a place where they could just sit and relax and enjoy not only this beautiful campus, but this beautiful town, city of Westchester. We believe all of us, the administration, everybody involved, have created an important day in Westchester's history. Now, this university has always had a special place in my heart and always will. It gave me my foundation and it gave me the confidence to go off into the world, into my career, and be the very best I could be. And I will always, always be grateful to Westchester for that. In 2015, it was one of my great honors to give the commencement address at this university. It was truly an honor. And I told the graduating seniors that day, it did not matter how much you give. It doesn't matter. It only matters that you do give. Participate, give back. It's so important. And Agnes and I will continue to give back to this university as long as we're alive. And we've made assurances to make sure that after we're gone, this university will be taken care of, and we're very proud of that. Now, the university is also celebrating and just kicked off its 150 Forward campaign to raise $65 million to help the next generation of students here at Westchester to have the same type of opportunities that those of us that were here before had. And we think it's a very important campaign, and we look forward to participating in that so much. Thank you. Now, my only sadness today is that my one daughter, Allie, could not be here today. She works up at Yale University, and she's the Assistant Athletic Director of Development, which means she raises money, which is what all universities do. And last night before I fell asleep, she sent me a text and said, "Look what I did today." And I said, "What's that?" She's just raised $45 million to redo Yale's golf course. I said, $45 million to redo a golf course? I said, the $35 billion of endowment wasn't enough to fix the golf course? Think about that, Chris. $35 billion in endowment. So she said she couldn't make it here because they're in an arms race with Harvard. Harvard's got the world's largest endowment. Yale doesn't like to think they're second best, so that's why she couldn't make it down. She had prior commitments. And that my parents couldn't be here today. I know my mother certainly wanted to be here. It was kind of a little joke. I told Chris about this. She's been telling me they couldn't travel because of their age and just health concerns from Denver. It's too much. But she kept on telling me, I want to be there. I said, Mom, it's just not safe for you to be here. It's just too much of a travel. And she said, I want to meet that nice Italian boy who's president of the university because my mother's Italian. So thank you all for being here to help us celebrate this special day. A special thank you to my wife and my family. Thank you to President Ferrantino for not only your support for this project, but for your leadership during what we had here over the past year, a pandemic that was second to none. This university came out stronger on the other side because of this man's leadership. There is nobody I respect more than Chris. Nobody. I'd also like to thank Chris Momini. Chris has been with us, 2 years now? 3 years now. His enthusiasm is off the charts, okay? And the passion that he brings day to day to his job is just incredible. And we are so blessed to have him here. He has been sending me pictures. He's been sending me texts. He's been communicating with me. He is an asset to this university. And Chris, thank you so much for all your help. And I would like to thank everybody at the university, everybody that was involved in building this project, from the contractors to the administration, to the folks that were involved in just the oversight of it, to the electricians, everybody that was involved, they really pushed it to get it done on time. I came here in August and walked around with both Chris's and said, I don't think this is going to be ready come the end of August. And they made it happen. So that's just fantastic. So thank you all very much. Now, I'd like to end today with just a quick thought, something I've been thinking about. You know, I'm a big admirer of Steve Jobs, and, you know, Steve helped change the world. And Steve once said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. So Westchester now has 150 years where we can look back and connect the dots. So what's the dots going to look like in the future since we cannot yet connect them? It's real simple. It's up to all of us who love and cherish this university to stay involved, to stay committed, to stay passionate. So in another 150 years, they can look back and say, the folks in 2021 really, really did a great job in propelling this university to the next level, because we definitely have the leadership to take us to the next level. Thank you all. Now, one last thing. I have to say this. My daughter Megan teases me about this all the time, and I said this at the commencement address. She constantly teases me about it. I did my commencement address by saying, I am a proud alum of this university, extremely proud to be an alum of this university. Today is a great day for all of you students in the back. I hope you can say this someday. It is a great day to be a Golden Ram. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We would be honored to present you with this rendering of the Roger and Agnes Ware Plaza.
Thank you.
Now I would like to ask Agnes and Sue to please join us.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all so much, Roger and Agnes. Again, thank you. Perfect for the Ware Plaza. We're going to turn it off, I think, just for a second, and then we're going to get some pictures. We're going to wrap up here, but again, we thank you for your tremendous support for the university and for the entire borough of Westchester. We're so grateful for your vision throughout the planning process, and thank you all who attended today, especially Roger and Agnes's family. So as we come to the end of this, we ask you to just enjoy yourselves, stay for a few minutes. We're going to be taking some pictures. We'll be taking some pictures with Roger, Agnes, and the family, and we'll run the fountain again for everyone. And it'll be, I understand it's running tonight too. The lights and everything, is that true? Possibly? Just this afternoon, okay. So, but we're gonna get some pictures now, so come on up. Again, thank you, everybody.
Great job.